Let's get more from Rob Enderle, who's a principal technology analyst for the Enderle Group, and he joins us from San Jose, California on the line. Rob, let me just first ask you your reaction to this news. How big of a blow would this be to Google if it did have to leave China?
Well, China is certainly the largest economy currently growing quickly in the world, and this is a market that most all of the U.S. companies and European companies want to get into. So from a financial standpoint, this would be a fairly significant blow.
And do you think Google actually has to leave China at this point, or is this really a big threat?
Well, certainly it's a big threat, but at some point, as a company, if you feel that you're being treated unfairly, if you've been given, if you're playing a game and the rules are stacked against you, and Google's between a rock and a hard place here, they have to adhere to not only the rules of the Chinese government, but the rules that exist in their home country, in the United States, and they're being torn between the two. And with the recent attacks on the email accounts, I think they've come to the determination that they just can't deal with this way anymore, and so are taking a very extreme view of exiting the country.
Yeah, they couldn't deal with it because what? They're not getting enough support from the Chinese government. That's
it. If you're going to do business in a particular state, you have to feel like the local government's behind you, and if the local government's taking hostile actions against you, that really stacks the deck too significantly against you. And you know, like any other game, if the folks that are keeping track of the rules are consistently moving against you, then it's probably time to exit the game.
Yeah, and what about the hacking itself? Because we're hearing that basically just 2 email accounts were being hacked into. You know, do you think Google should have tried to set up, I guess, more security?
Well, they're actually reasonably secure for what they are. They are a public cloud company anyway, so that they do have exposures, because unlike a private company where you can put layer upon layer of security, these are consumers that are getting access to their stuff, and with consumers you have to make it easy enough so they can get in. And I think they came to the determination that the attacks were professional, and at least seem to believe that they might have been government sourced, and that's why they're so upset.
Yeah, and is Google making a stand here? Because unlike Yahoo, its competitor, it seems to be protecting the rights and the privacy of its users in China. Yeah, that's true. They are taking a stand, and I think it's an important one for a U.S. company to take, particularly right now, where most of the internet companies are under a tremendous amount of pressure to live and adhere to the very consumer-centric rules that exist in this state and in Europe. So by doing it this way, they appear to be trying to avoid what would otherwise be a substantial amount of pain. Because you remember what happened to Yahoo; they were pilloried here in the United States for capitulating, and Google's in much the same situation. And Rob, what do you think is a likely outcome here? Can this be negotiated?
Well, I think it will be part of a negotiation. Clearly, the Obama administration will use this pretty aggressively to show unfair treatment for a U.S. company. On top of the cadmium problem that occurred also this week, I think we're going to find the Obama administration has been given, and they've been at a disadvantage with regard to negotiations with China because of the balance of trade. That you're going to find them to use this particular chip and use it aggressively. Okay. All right, Rob, thanks for joining us this morning. Rob Enderle giving us some insights on the Google story coming out of China.